What actually happens to humanity when machines can do every single job perfectly? I mean, zero human effort required. It sounds like a plot from a distant sci-fi movie, right? But it's a rapidly approaching reality, one that is about to fundamentally rewire our entire economy, our education systems, and honestly, how we find meaning in our lives. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking our rapidly accelerating timeline from predictive AI to actual superintelligence. To figure all this out, we're pulling some fascinating, totally grounded insights from an Eon Reality white paper on education, the World Bank's 2026 concept note on AI for development, and some pretty mind-bending economic research from AGI. Okay, let's just jump right into the roadmap of our evolution over the coming decades. We'll be hitting 5 key areas. 1, the dawn of AI agents. 2, AGI and the wage collapse. 3, AI in the developing world. 4, education for human purpose. And finally, 5, the superintelligence singularity. So, kicking things off with Section 1, the dawn of AI agents. We're calling this Phase 1, and it spans from 2025 to 2028. To really understand where we're headed, the Eon Reality white paper maps out this crazy trajectory for us. It shifts us rapidly from where we are right now, just adapting our workforce to basic AI, into AGI, and then, eventually, into the deeply existential territory of artificial superintelligence. And if you want to grasp the immediate urgency of this first phase, listen to this. The World Economic Forum estimates that 50% of all employees are going to require reskilling by 2025. Yeah, 50%. That is half the global workforce needing to adapt to automation basically overnight. Now, naturally, a shift that massive brings some deep psychological anxiety. In fact, over 22% of US workers are now experiencing what researchers call FOBO, the fear of becoming obsolete. To fix this, our education and corporate training systems have to pivot completely toward rapid skill transitions and building mental resilience. And the tech itself might actually be the answer here. A recent Walmart study showed that using immersive VR could cut training time by an unbelievable 96%. We're talking about complex scenarios that used to take an hour and a half in a classroom being mastered in just 20 minutes. All right, moving right along to Section 2, AGI and the wage collapse. This is the economic tipping point. By the late 2020s, we anticipate hitting artificial general intelligence, or AGI. This is the moment our economic reality just fundamentally breaks. Because AGI means machine intelligence completely matches human cognitive abilities across all kinds of diverse tasks. AI is no longer just helping you do your job. It's fully capable of performing nearly all white-collar and blue-collar work, replacing human labor entirely. According to economic research from Archive, this creates a really fascinating, honestly terrifying paradox. The marginal cost of AGI labor drops essentially to zero, which pushes human wages towards zero too. So companies can use AGI to produce vastly more goods at a fraction of the cost. But the displaced human consumers no longer have the income to actually afford to buy those goods. It causes aggregate demand to just completely collapse. So what's the fix? Well, researchers hypothesize that strictly economic mechanisms are going to be absolutely necessary to redistribute this AGI-generated wealth and stop total economic ruin. We are talking about renegotiating the fundamental social contract, things like universal basic income, progressive taxation on AGI capital, or even shifting to public or cooperative ownership of these AGI systems. Which brings us to Section 3, AI in the developing world. Let's zoom out and look at the global impact of all this. Drawing directly from the World Bank, developing nations are facing a stark dual reality here. On one hand, you have these incredible leapfrog opportunities, like AI bypassing traditional credit limits with microloans or deploying AI teachers and doctors in places where human experts are scarce. But on the flip side, the risks are severe. If the massive computing power and data required to run AI are just hoarded by a few high-income tech monopolies, it could heavily widen the global divide, exacerbate dependencies, and just deepen existing structural inequalities. Okay, Section 4. Education for human purpose. Finding meaning without jobs. If AI is out there handling the entire economy, what does that actually mean for your life today? Well, human value shifts from performing routine tasks to directing AI, so education has to completely abandon rote job training and pivot toward purpose discovery. Schools are going to need to rely heavily on experiential learning to cultivate intrinsic curiosity, passion, and your unique human purpose. Just imagine this new kind of classroom for a second. Humans safely coexisting with immersive technologies, simulating entirely different realities just to discover their personal callings. You could test out a career as a marine biologist in a hyper-realistic VR simulation before dedicating years of your life to it. Learning becomes entirely about finding out why you want to do something rather than just learning how to do it. And finally, Section 5, the superintelligent singularity, Phase 3, beyond 2033. This is the point where technological growth becomes uncontrollable and deeply, deeply existential. We're talking about artificial superintelligence, or ASI, an intellect that is vastly smarter than the absolute best human brains in practically every field: scientific creativity, general wisdom, even social skills. The arrival of a literal godlike superintelligence will profoundly alter what it means to exist, completely dwarfing our natural biological capabilities. When we hit this point, humanity faces the ultimate evolutionary choice. Do we physically merge with this superintelligence, like using brain-computer interfaces to elevate our cognition and basically transcend our biology to fuse with the AI cloud? Or do we choose to coexist? We could set strict boundaries, remain completely biological humans, and let the ASI act as a powerful steward or partner that respects our values. Navigating that mind-blowing choice is going to be education's ultimate challenge. Traditional curricula will be entirely gone. Instead, education operates as a deep philosophical guide, using immersive simulations to help us preview what ASI integration actually feels like. It's going to be responsible for providing existential mental health support and building the frameworks for global policy so we can make these choices collectively. Which leaves us with this final, deeply provocative thought. When the machine becomes a god, will you merge or will you remain human? It's a massive choice, and honestly, it isn't as far away as we might think. I hope this explainer has given you a clear, structured view of the incredible shifts heading our way. Keep learning, keep questioning, and we'll catch you on the next one.